Oh, hello everybody. Welcome to part 3 of my window card collection. Here's Spring Awakening. You know, this is the original cast production that was at the Eugene O'Neill Theater. I saw it with Leah Michele and Jonathan Groff and everybody. Skylar Aston. Oh, it was excellent. And I love this poster. I love the logo. You know, logos of the title are very important. The image is very, very enticing. It's sexy. You don't really know what the show is. And shows that don't have a good poster or a good, logo for their title, it often hurts the show greatly. I'm sorry. Here's the Moulin Rouge poster. Now, I have this Moulin Rouge poster, and that's the one that I had ordered. And then when I received it the first time, it was this one. And rather than send it back, I said, well, that's interesting. It's just a big exclamation point. Oh, there's Blackie Humphrey asleep over there. And I thought, well, that's different, but I haven't hung it anywhere yet. The 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. Can you spell irresistible? Says the New York Times. A riotously funny and entirely adorable new musical. This is the show from William Finn. And I really liked it. I saw the original cast. I stood in the standing room. It was at the Circle in the Square Theater, so I was in the back of the theater, and it was theater in the round, sort of. It's not really a round; it's more like a U shape. And even though it was standing room, it was way in the back, and I mean where standing room is, because you couldn't put them in the front. But I could see okay, it was fine. What's strange is when you do standing room, they always say, don't lean on the railing or whatever. How are you supposed to balance yourself the whole time if you're not touching anything? Still Pierre, the Kander and Ebb musical. I really liked Still Pierre. This was in 1997 that I saw it, and it didn't last very long, and it was nominated for a lot of Tony Awards, but it didn't win any, and it was closing quickly, and I saw it in Variety. This was when I ran the mailroom, and they were like, my coworkers said, oh, Still Pierre is closing, because I always talked about it. And I said, when? And she said, before you can get there. And I said, why, is it closing tonight? And child, I booked a flight and got to New York either that weekend or the next weekend. It was really fast, and maybe it was that weekend. And of course now I can't do that. The credit cards found out about me. Here's another one from the olden days. Aida, the Elton John Tim Rice musical. I just put this in the car and would listen to the CD. Yes, CD. I still prefer CDs. I mean, streaming is nice and downloading and whatever you kids do nowadays, but I'd like to hold the CD in my hand. Look, here's an actual CD case for Moulin Rouge, the musical. Now, isn't it nice that you can hold something and have proof that it exists? If there was a nuclear war, all that stuff that you downloaded would just disappear. Of course, so would our CDs, probably. Now, when I saw a funny thing happen on the way to the Forum, which was at the St. James Theater, don't ask me what year, the original poster and the original production, of course, had Nathan Lane, and Whoopi Goldberg went into it in that role. David Alan Grier did it, I know. Did anybody else? Well, I had the Nathan Lane poster, but I had seen Whoopi. Oh, is that air conditioner bothering you all? I turned it off, so now I'll be roasting in here. Yeah, the production I saw had Whoopi Goldberg, and it took me forever to find this poster. I love it, but it's not my favorite show. Now, one of my favorite shows is Title of Show. Have you all seen it? It's a really great show. Um, the poster is very simple, and of course, you all know it's a musical about two guys writing a musical, and it's just wonderful. But yes, there's something I love about the simplicity of this poster. The white background, the two guys, Hunter and Jeff, running to mail their script of the show that they've written for the festival. An excellent show. Now, here's a show I have not seen. I have listened to the cast album, but Heathers the musical. I loved Heathers the movie, and I love Heathers the poster for the musical. So, watch your damage. It's a beautiful, beautiful logo. The poster artwork it's simple, and you know exactly what this show is. That these are three bitchy girls, and you know that somebody's dead. So, oh, now the cardstock on this, I wish you all could feel it, is so thick. I love a good thick cardstock on posters. This is Dracula, the musical, starring Tom Hewitt and Melissa Errico. It was a Frank Wildhorn show. I did see it. It was at the Belasco Theater. I don't remember too much about it. It was directed by Des McAnuff. There were performances where there was nudity, and I saw the one that had nudity, not because of the nudity, just because I happened to be lucky enough to see it that day. I don't remember too much about the show, like I said, but Dracula did walk up the wall or down it or something. Here's a great poster for The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, the U.S. National Tour. Now, I don't always like to buy the National Tour posters because I don't like for it to say U.S. National Tour. I like to see what theater it was in when it was on Broadway. And this was a great show. And it was directed by Marianne Elliott, who would go on to do Company, and who won the Tony for that production. So she is very, very inventive, very gifted. All Shook Up, the Elvis Presley musical, not about Elvis Presley, but with his songs. And there's Broadway's Cheyenne Jackson, as they say in Title of Show. Well, not in Title of Show, they said it in the Title of Show, which was a web series. It's the best rock and roll musical since Grease, according to this poster. And it was at the Palace Theater. I have the original poster that looks more like, is it like that? It has the cartoony type artwork on it. Now here, I did see this production. Tennessee Williams' The Glass Menagerie. It had Jessica Lange, Josh Lucas, Sarah Paulson before she became a superstar, and Christian Slater. Yes, that was at the Barrymore Theater, which is one of my favorite theaters on Broadway. Here's another Jessica Lange show, A Streetcar Named Desire, starring Jessica Lange and Alec Baldwin. And Amy Madigan was in it too. Yes. I love that poster. I love the black and white image of them. It's so passionate. And then the red lettering for A Streetcar Named Desire. Speaking of Grease, here's Grease. This is when they did the contest, and on the TV show You're the One That I Want, and Max Crumb was Danny Zuko. Oh, who was that played Sandy? Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Was it Laura Osnes? Oh well. Yes, I believe so. Yeah, not a great logo for them. It's live on Broadway as opposed to with a bunch of dead people standing there, which would be a weird show, but I'd probably go see it. Now here, it's been years since I saw a production of Children of a Lesser God, but I really liked this poster. I saw it on Playbill on the Playbill store, and I had to have it. It has Joshua Jackson and Lauren Ridloff in it. The lighting on their faces was just too irresistible to me. Now, I've shown you this before when I did my Tootsie Broadway review. The Tootsie poster. Sorry, these aren't in any order. It's going from really old shows to newer shows, back to old, The Woman in White. Now, I saw this on Broadway. It was Andrew Lloyd Webber's best score in years, according to the London Guardian. A dazzling white hit. I hated it. I thought it was one of the worst things I'd ever seen. They used projections on the stage instead of like a lot of sets. They would have projections of things. I don't know that the projections had been perfected back in those days, but I don't really remember a lot about the show, but that I just was not happy while I was watching it. And I saw it in December, and it was during a transit strike, so the buses weren't running, the subways weren't running. It was hard to get around the city. It was very cold, and the movie came out in the theater. Here is B. Arthur on Broadway, just between friends, with Billy Goldenberg at the piano. I've said this before in another video. B. Arthur didn't tell any dirt like you would want her to tell. Like Elaine Stritch told everything. And B. Arthur told recipes, and she kept it very safe, I thought. And you want a B. Arthur that's a little baldy, and she did the show barefoot, as you can see. Yes, here's The Who's Tommy. It's very good. The poster's a little too yellow for me. Tommy, can you hear me? Remember when Rosie O'Donnell would always play that on her show? Now, I never saw this show. I never heard of it. I never heard any of the music. But I loved the design of it. And during the Great Pandemic, I bought it just because there was no theater. And there was stimulus money in my bank account. So I wanted to cheer myself up and get a little happiness. A new musical. It lasted a little while. The happiness, that is, not the show. I don't know how long it lasted. But nice poster. Now here is a great poster, I think. It's very simple, but it's clever. Just the design is his jacket. And then look at the little beetle. It could either be a beetle lapel or an actual beetle crawling on him. Beetlejuice was a show I didn't know what to expect, and it delivered on every level. Excellent. The Addams Family. I saw the touring production. I didn't get to see Nathan Lane or B.B. Newworth, but I would have liked to. The show left a little to be desired. To me, it was the same plot as The Birdcage, which was La Cage aux Folles. You know, the family has to pretend to be something other than what they are to impress the daughter's boyfriend and his parents. It was just like The Birdcage. Here is Jekyll and Hyde, the musical. I have the original poster, which is as beautiful as this. This is the second Smash Year poster. And yes, I saw it. Here is Shrek. This was when Shrek was on its national tour. Though, of course, they do use the real images of Sutton Foster and the whole cast. But they were not in it, of course. Now, this one makes me sad because it's The Last Ship, which was one of the last shows I saw I saw it right before I saw Escape to Margaritaville, before the great pandemic shut everything down in the world. And look, this is from the tour. It was at the Amundsen Theater. Sting was in the role. They had revamped the show greatly from the way it was on Broadway, which is the version I really wanted to see, because they took out a lot of what I wanted to see in the story. But look, it has the Los Angeles dates, which went to February 16th of 2020, then San Francisco, February 20th to March 22nd. Now, you know, since everything shut down around March 12th or so, at least that's when Broadway shut down, you know that these cities, Washington, D.C. and St. Paul and Detroit, didn't get this show. So it's very sad to me when I see this poster, because it's just like represents everything halted. And here is a Miss Saigon. Again, a tour poster, but once in a while I will buy the tour poster. And I liked the coloring on it. Okay. Well, that is all the time we have for today. But yes, it's nice to end on Miss Saigon. Don't you agree, Blackie Humphrey? Oh, he's so tired because it's so hot. Okay, we'll see you all back for part 4 of Window Cards, the collection.